I'm Leaf, and this is my friend Cass, and this is Cass Lee Productions! I'm gonna have to grab that paper again later. Okay, so Intro to Theater, Part 3, because I take forever to explain everything. It's just one of my quirks. I don't know how I survive in normal conversations. Picking up the paper now, so I don't have to do it later. Yes, we are recording, just double checking. My mouse was still on the other side, so I was just like, what? Did I not hit the record button? Because I do that sometimes. Or I accidentally take a photo. I do that a lot. Like, every time I start filming. Not the point! Okay, so, memorizing lines. Okay. The hardest thing about this class was memorizing the lines, because we would have to do a monologue. And for those of you who don't know what a monologue is, it is basically... You guys won't know what that word means either if you're a lot younger. As for you those who don't know, a soliloquy, for those in AP English and college level, and probably in high school, if you have advanced high school and the teachings, you will know what a soliloquy is. It's basically that. For those of you who don't know, it's practically where one character just stands on the stage and talks about one thing for a long period of time. Basically what I'm doing. But only obviously from a rehearsed line and set character and stuff, where they kind of just go on a tangent of what they're thinking and the world and basically anything they want. They just go on a tyrant about whatever. Monologues. Yes. And the monologues were... depends on what part you got on how long it generally was, but we had to remember word for word. We'd get marked down if we didn't know what a word was, if we replaced it with another word. I can't remember if she marked us down for that or not. But every time we'd had to call for a line, and you have to call for a line without breaking character, which is harder than you think it is, people. You'd think it would be easy. So it'd be like, I'll give you an example just because I love this example. It'd be like, well, you know, Marvin, you're just a line! Give me a line! Only obviously can't break the scene by turning to the person and be like, give it to me. You know, but that's my basic example. And I had been in plays before, but as you might know, even though you do have a deadline for memorizing the scripts, I am talking louder because there's so much noise in this basement to me right now. I apologize for you that had to mess with volume. I was on... Oh yeah, you have a certain time to memorize your lines, right? Like, okay, first, 2 to 3 months of practicing you have with your script, and you slowly wean yourself off the script until you don't really have it, and you just randomly call out lines throughout the thing when you can't remember what you were supposed to say, because that happens. So I was used to having a long period of time to memorize lines and stuff like that, but we got our monologues on Monday, and we had to have them memorized by Friday. I had never memorized something in such short of a time frame when it came to a script. So honestly, I was panicking a little inside about how to do this line thing. And I can't remember if someone suggested to me or if I came up with myself, but I ended up taking my monologue, rewriting it on a bunch of flashcards, cutting up the flashcards, and then slowly piecing back together the speech, which actually really helped me remember it. Near the end of this Intro to Theater class, since I was practicing the memorizing technique over and over again, I could memorize a 2-page monologue in about 3 days. I would do a paragraph a day to memorize. I'd focus on one paragraph at a time, and then I'd go back and do the 2 paragraphs together with the flashcards. I'd also, I'd pretty much read the line and then close my eyes and try to reset it from my head when I was alone. And then if I had my parents home, they would just hold the sheet and I'd try to do the first one, and it practically would be like doing the test in her room. But I thought that this didn't completely work though, because this is going to go into actually the other one I was talking about when I had to play Guy. Though obviously I'm going to do a different, go more in depth a bit later, but I'm just making a connection now so you all know. I mumble a lot. I'm sorry if you guys can't understand me when I talk these things. My mom says I talk too fast. Not sure if I'm talking too fast for you. I realize that I don't always speak at the right volume, which makes me hard to understand. Geez, for being a theater kid, I have a lot of speech issues when it comes to speaking. Continuing. They connect because I think I had something. I took the one with the bigger part. There was three parts in this play. We had to pick groups. I ended up teaming up with someone who was in my art class as well. I think her name was, I can't say her name. We're going to call her H. Glad I caught myself on that one. I usually say the name first and then have to try to edit out that one snippet of video, which is practically impossible to time right. And I don't have good editing programs on my computer for videos. Also, so if you have good suggestions that are free too for that one, let me know as well. I will thank you eternally. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to do more cool stuff with these things. Backtracking. And I had a lot of lines, and I ended up remembering the good majority of the first half, but I didn't remember much of the last half of the play, sadly. I think the play we did was... I only remember that there was flowers, something like chrysanthemums or something like that. I honestly made a poster for it. I probably have it saved somewhere on my Google Docs if you guys really want to know. But pretty much it was about two guys sitting on a bench. And it turns out the daughter, this young man's going on a date, and more or less I end up giving advice and we're talking about, I guess, the whole entire scenario. And it turns out, I can't remember if it turns out we were waiting for the same people or if that person ended up being my daughter. I don't remember that well. I'm pretty sure the person ended up being my daughter and it was the other guy's date, and he was like, "You're dating my daughter." So I got to be like, oh, like overprotective father, which I think I enjoyed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was how that ended up going. But I had to play a guy, and our teacher was like, "Are you sure you want to do this one? Are you sure you want to be a guy?" Because she's like, "I will be grading on you if you don't become a guy." Now, as I mentioned in my previous videos, everyone has, between male and female, we have different ways of holding ourselves in everyday life when it comes to stature and even daily movement of how we do things. And this is when I started people watching people. Crack myself up. I don't know why. I'm so sad. Okay, so people watching people. And so I started observing all the guys in my class and trying not to be creepy while staring at them. I hope I did a good job. I don't think anyone really noticed, so I think I'm good. I had some friends who were guys, so, staring at them when you're having conversation isn't exactly abnormal, so I got away with it. At least I'm pretty sure I did. Just watch, like, when the kids being in my school going, "Oh, that's why you're staring at me creepily that one time." And I'll be like, "Ha ha ha ha, you noticed." Yeah, so that's basically it. The teacher wasn't, sure. So I also asked my sister, because she's also a theater kid, just as I am. I'm really bad at accents, just so you know, when I do these weird voices, they're not even supposed to be specific accents, so I apologize if you think they sound like another accent, even a poorly done accent, because that is not what they're supposed to be, unless I'm doing that subconsciously, but we're not getting into psychology. Again, just clarifying that. And so I started watching, and I noticed that, and the thing was also in this one, in this play, was that, like a lot of oldly written plays, people smoked. And so I had to figure out how a guy would hold a cigarette. Now, most people try to keep their smoking secret. Some people are more blatant about it, but it's sort of rude to just stare at someone when they're sitting outside a store smoking. And I just always feel like that's a bad formula for just asking something to go wrong in one way or another. I mean, it's just kind of awkward to stand there and stare at them and be like, "How do you hold your cigarette, huh?" Or go at them and be like, "So how do you smoke?" I mean, it's a weird question to try to ask random people, or to be like, "Do you smoke?" And then be like, "Let me see you hold a cigarette." I mean, come on, you just don't do that. And so it's like, well, how does a guy smoke? I mean, my dad smokes, you know? But it's like I never watched him closely because he actually hid it from me from a good part of my years. I didn't really know he smoked until like around middle school, and then didn't really see him actually smoke in front of me until like high school. So, explained why our clothes always smell weird coming back from dad's, and why I like the smell of cigarette smoke. Yes, I do like it. I know it's a bad thing, but honestly, it's only my dad's like brand of cigarettes I like the smell of anyways, and it's usually on his clothes. I don't like it if it's like right in my face, generally speaking. We're not talking about my weird the smoking happens, but I couldn't remember how my dad held his cigarette. Apparently, according to my sister, this is more how girls hold their cigarettes. Let's use a pencil as an example, like so, you know. And the guys that apparently tend to hold them more like this or something, if I remember right. Again, this was a like. Can I remember the order of how you junior, sophomore? I only remember sophomore, junior, and senior. There's one in between I'm missing, guys. Oh, no, it's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Got it. I was probably a sophomore. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was a sophomore at that time. Yeah. So I don't quite remember how that all went, but I realized a lot of different things while people watching. It's actually quite a fun thing to do as long as you're not a stalker about it. So don't follow specific people, just observe giant groups, and that way you're not creepy. I realized that sounded creepy. I just guess I'll just yeah, look at general groups or friends ask questions and stuff like that for the class. I hope you can help. I helped you maybe study for our intro to theater class, and that my way of studying was helpful to you. Though I seriously doubt. I just know that I'm a tactile visual learner, and somehow that just made it click pretty easy for me. Though I had to do it quite a few times a day. Like I would rearrange. I think I took an hour studying my lines back at home, or 30 minutes depending. Like there'd be some parts like, okay, I gotta get down. I'd probably go until I had like that paragraph down, which probably took me an hour, but the time got less as I said the class continued and everything. So that's all the highlights I can remember of Intro to Theater. I know there was more, but I cannot recall them. So we might be getting a very, very, very later video of Intro to Theater of something that I might have remembered, or something that someone says, that sets off memory. It's like, oh yeah, I should do a video about that. And that will be that. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you like my intro to theater talk, because sometimes I don't think what I have is interesting or that anyone's gonna want to know anything. But I noticed that a lot of people like it when you share stories. So even in like daily conversation, I'm just not sure if people would like a one-sided conversation like so. I mean, I'm technically speaking right at you this whole entire time. I can see you all. Though honestly, I'm not good at imagining things, so actually I can't. Well, I hope you all enjoy this video and what I do, because I'm honestly don't know how you feel about all this, especially since I'm still saving these all up and have to figure out posting them because I'm running out of room to save all these videos and stuff like that, and I'm still going on for too long, and now I'm talking too fast and you probably don't even know what I'm saying. Bye!